You know that feeling, right? That sudden shift in the air when you just know a really tough conversation is coming. We've all been there. And those moments, well, they can either push us apart or bring us closer. Today, we're going to break down how to handle them.
Ah, yes. Can we talk? Those three little words, but wow, do they pack a punch? It's the phrase that can make your heart drop into your stomach. Because let's be honest, it's rarely followed by, I was thinking we should get pizza. It's a signal, a heads up that things are about to get real.
And right there, that's the fork in the road, isn't it? A conversation that starts like this can so easily explode into a fight, or it can lead to a much deeper, much more honest understanding. The real trick is figuring out how to steer it down that second path, the one that actually builds your connection.
It really all begins with the specific words we choose. Some phrases just have so much power, you know? They act like little signposts that tell you where a relationship is and maybe where it's headed. So let's dive into one of the biggest distinctions out there. Think about this for a second. There's a huge difference between loving someone and being in love with them. You love your friends, you love your family. That's a warm, wonderful, important feeling. But being in love, that's something else. That's that intense, romantic, one-of-a-kind feeling you say for a partner. And getting that distinction right, it's absolutely crucial. And that very distinction is often what leads to the infamous talk with a capital T. You know, that make or break conversation where you finally have to define what the relationship is and what it's going to be. So when somebody finally asks, where is this relationship going? That is not small talk, not at all. It's a search for clarity. They're asking, what are we doing here? Are we serious? Are we on the same page for the future? It's basically a direct request to put a label on things. And you know, the talk rarely just pops up out of the blue. There are usually little verbal breadcrumbs leading up to it. Things like, we've had our laughs, and you can just feel the butt hanging in the air. Or that vague one, you know what I mean? Which just begs you to read between the lines. And of course, the big one, maybe it's just time we, and then they trail off. Each one is a little warning sign that a big conversation is right around the corner. So what happens when these conversations uncover a real problem? Maybe a mistake was made or trust has been broken. Well, when that happens, we need a whole other skill set, the art of the sincere apology. Listen, a real apology has nothing to do with admitting defeat or losing an argument. It's about winning back the connection. It's a powerful way of showing that the relationship means more to you than your own ego. It's you saying, hey you, this connection we have, that's what matters more than me being right.
Okay, so what makes an apology actually good? Well, it kind of has three key ingredients. First, you have to take full 100% responsibility. No buts, no excuses. Second, you have to express genuine regret. They need to feel that you get how much your actions hurt them. And finally, you got to make it right. That means offering a real solution or a solid commitment to change your behavior for good.
And now let's talk about the classic non-apology. We've all heard this one. I'm sorry you feel that way. It sounds like an apology, right? But it's a sneaky little trick. See, it doesn't take responsibility for your actions. It subtly blames the other person for their feelings. It's a total cop-out. And believe me, it almost never works. Okay, so a real, sincere apology has been given. But for the person on the receiving end, the journey isn't over, not by a long shot. Now comes the next phase, which can honestly be even harder, the path to forgiveness. This is a question we've all asked ourselves, right? So they said they're sorry. Are we good now? Is everything fixed? Not quite. An apology, well, that just opens the door. What you do next is what really matters. Forgiveness isn't about erasing the past or pretending something didn't hurt. It's an active, conscious choice. It's you deciding to let go of that anger, to let go of that need for payback. It's a process that finally allows healing to start. Not just for the relationship, but for you too. So let's get a few things straight about forgiveness. First, it's a choice you make to release your own anger. It absolutely does not mean you forget what happened. That's a big misconception. What it does do is allow both of you to heal and actually move forward. And honestly, most of the time, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It frees you from carrying that heavy weight around. So, how do we put all these pieces together? How do we take these difficult talks, these apologies, and this forgiveness and actually move forward to build stronger, more resilient relationships? Let's bring it all home. Here's the bottom line, and it's so important.
Trust is rebuilt with actions, not just words. Words are easy. Apologizing for the exact same mistake over and over again, that's not an apology, that's just a pattern. A real apology is always followed by real change. That's how you rebuild that broken trust, one solid action at a time.
When you really get down to it, all of this is about one big shift in your mindset. The goal of these tough conversations isn't to win. It's not about being right or proving a point. The goal is to understand each other on a deeper level. It's about using these really hard moments to actually forge a stronger, more honest connection. And that brings us to one final, really personal question. Thinking about your own life, about your own relationships, which conversation are you ready to have?